Have some clarity on what's taking place behind closed doors with the CBA negotiations, as this $1 million offer isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Front Office Sports puts out an article. The WNBA's $1 million offer isn't what it seems. It seems as if you can't just sign on the dotted line, here's my $1 million contract. Nope. It's still going to be the $850,000, but I got to hit this marker.
So, this explosive proposal just surfaced, and it's a massive one. The suggestion is that stars like Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu should walk away from the players' union entirely. They should cut ties, go directly to the owners, and demand an entirely new deal. This isn't some casual negotiation trick. It's a call to rebuild the entire system from the ground up. We're talking about a full reset of how the WNBA operates. And the fact that the league has stayed completely silent since this idea went public shows just how serious it is. It proves how frustrated the players have become, and that they might finally be ready to use their individual power to force real change.
You can't just sign on the dotted line, here's my $1 million contract. Nope, it's still going to be the $850,000. But I gotta hit this marker, I gotta hit that marker, and I gotta hit that marker if I want to see the $1 million deal. Let's get right into it. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe. That would mean so much to me. The WNBA's $1 million offer isn't what it seems. Earlier this week, word emerged that the WNBA had offered its players a new collective bargaining agreement that included a maximum salary of over $1 million.
This entire wild idea started because of that so-called $1 million offer from the WNBA. It was sold as a massive breakthrough for player salaries, but in reality, it was smoke and mirrors, a pure PR stunt to make the league look good. When you dig into the details, it's not even a real salary. It's a tangled mess of bonuses, conditions, and requirements that make it nearly impossible for most players to ever see that money. It's not a straightforward contract. It's a maze. And because the league wasn't honest or transparent about it, that deception completely shattered the players' trust, making this entire dispute explode into something far worse.
It was $66,000. Okay. So the Supermax in 2025 is $249,000. Even though it's not the $1.1 million deal like they wanted everybody to believe, if you go from $250 to $850, you get an extra $600,000. You more than triple what you're making. Seems like a pretty sweet deal. Bonus scale per player: WNBA champion, $20,000. Championship runner-up, MVP, first team, second team, all-star participants, all-star MVPs, so on and so forth. Potential earnings have been touted by the WNBA in recent years to promote the perception of higher salaries.
And the truth is that Supermax contract they kept bragging about has a base salary sitting somewhere around $800,000. To even get close to that flashy $1.1 million number, a player has to hit a long list of performance targets, collect multiple bonuses, and agree to do extra marketing for the league. In other words, no one is actually signing a 2026 deal worth that headline figure. It's crafted to appear like progress, while real financial security stays just out of reach. The core pay structure barely changes, yet the league waves this carrot in front of everyone, and it's only making the top players even more frustrated.
In order for those potential earnings to become a reality, though, a player would have to earn bonuses throughout the regular season and be signed to a player marketing agreement. Player marketing agreements, which can earn players up to $250,000, began during the 21-22 season. However, most star players opted not to sign the deals with the league because they found them to limit other potential earnings from their name, image, and likenesses. The current CBA includes a revenue sharing model that would pay out players a percentage of excess revenue the league earned after a specific target was met. Beginning with the 2020 season, revenue sharing would have been triggered had the league increased its revenue by $20,000. Any money earned above that
This entire misleading strategy sent shockwaves through the league, and it seriously angered the veteran players. Take Sophie Cunningham, for example. She called the league out directly, saying, "Sure, a big number sounds great when they flash it in front of you, but what does it actually mean?" Her comment slices straight through all the WNBA's PR spin and exposes just how much frustration is boiling beneath the surface. It shows that players feel they're being handed empty promises instead of real, guaranteed money. And it makes clear just how massive the gap is between the league's polished public image and the reality players are actually facing.
Every year. However, while the player salaries have only increased by 3% per year, a report by Deloitte projected women's basketball revenues would jump from $710 million to $1.03 billion in 2025, implying that the player's share of league revenue has actually fallen as the league's business has grown. That is the heart of the dispute between the league and its players, and the collective bargaining agreement expires in 10 days. It sounds good, and they can always wave a big number in your face, veteran guard Sophie Cunningham told Front Office Sports recently. But what happens when the business continues to go up? Does that mean that our salaries are going to continue to go up?
But Sophie Cunningham didn't stop there. She kept pressing, questioning the league's long-term vision. She essentially asked, what happens when the business keeps growing? Will our salaries grow with it or stay the same? This isn't just about one contract. It's about securing a fair share of the revenue as the WNBA explodes in popularity. Players can clearly see a future where the league is raking in billions from their efforts, yet their own paychecks remain stagnant. Her words cut straight to the core fear. The system is designed to keep player pay down no matter how much the league profits.
But now we're at the point, folks, where we got to get into the smoke and mirrors. We got to play the public perception game. We got to get some narratives out there, some feelers out there to sway public opinion on our side or this side. WNBA should have just been upfront about, hey, this is what we're currently offering, $850,000 with the ability to earn over $1 million. As the business grows, the percent of rev sharing will grow. So if they're at 9.3 and let's say business increases from 1.03 billion to 1.15 billion, instead of getting the 9%, they'll get the 11%. Instead of getting the one to go.
On top of everything else, there are the player marketing agreements. These were supposed to give players a chance to earn an extra $250,000. At first glance, it looked like a good deal, but most of the top players refused to sign. The reason? The agreements contained hidden clauses that would have restricted their ability to pursue their own endorsement deals, which often pay far more. Essentially, players were forced to choose. The league's attempt to control their personal brands completely backfired, only deepening the trust issues between players and management.
Business increases from 1.03 billion to 1.15 billion. Instead of getting the 9%, they'll get the 11%. Instead of getting the when it goes to 1.3, instead of getting the 11%, they'll get the 13%. All you had to do was be transparent. Now the question is, what else is going on in these deals? What are some other sticking points, or is this the only sticking point that they're currently worried about? What's going on with the jersey sales? What's going on with the amenities? What's going on with the treatment? What's going on with the childcare, so on and so forth? I would have to assume that the owners are budging on all the other fronts. I would say the only holdup right now.
Then there's the revenue sharing model in the current agreement. On paper, it sounds great. When the league earns extra profit, players get a cut. But in practice, it's been a complete failure. It's almost never triggered, so it barely impacts what players actually take home. Take the pandemic, for example. It made hitting the revenue targets impossible. Meanwhile, players watch the league grow in popularity, get more media attention, and attract more sponsors, but almost none of that money flows to them through this system. It feels like yet another broken promise from the league.
That if they want a 2026 season, keyword, if they want a 2026 season, if they want a 2026 season, if they want the same pool of players. Again, I still feel like A'ja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, and Sabrina Ionescu, they got to join forces. They got to do whatever they can in their powers to kind of defect from the current union, the current players association, the current players union. They got to defect and start their own thing. They got to go to the owners on themselves and say, hey.
The league claims its newest offer includes uncapped revenue sharing, meaning player pay would rise as league revenue increases. Sounds good, but the players aren't convinced. They want a guaranteed percentage of revenue, like in the NBA and NFL, so that growth is transparent and predictable. Without that guarantee, the league's offer feels like yet another vague promise. the numbers explain their skepticism. In 2022, player salaries made up just 9.3% of league revenue, while new reports project women's basketball revenue will soar to over $10 billion by 2025. That means the players' share of the money they generate is actually shrinking. It's no wonder players like Sophie Cunningham are furious. The league's lack of transparency has created total distress, and it's not just about money. Players are demanding better travel, improved amenities, and childcare support. Meanwhile, rival leagues like Project B are offering top players over $1 million, adding even more pressure on the WNBA. This desperate situation circles back to a radical idea. Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, and Sabrina Ionescu should defect from the union. The concept is that they could negotiate directly with the owners, play alongside cheaper replacement players, and claim the largest share of revenue for themselves. Some argue this may be the only way to save the WNBA from the old guard, while opening the door for a new generation of stars, like Paige Buchers or Guji Watkins, to reset the system. Right now, the league is at a crossroads. Its future is worth billions, but the pay structure remains frozen in the past. The CBA is about to expire, and if the league doesn't forge a truly transparent partnership with its stars, the idea of players walking away is no longer theoretical, it's a real possibility. The clock is ticking.